So when the woman becomes her own abortionist, so then we have this reckoning in the pro-life movement, you know, that's been, I think, brewing for a long time. You know, when do we start saying, okay, we call for personhood sometimes in the pro-life movement, and then sometimes we say, well, we have a big carve out for women where we say, well, women should be allowed to kill their babies. Women should be allowed to murder their babies, you know, without penalty. They should be able to murder their babies because it's their babies and they're the moms, and that's perfectly okay. But nobody else can murder the babies. So if I'm a drunk driver and I hit a woman who's pregnant, then somehow at that moment, that child does have personhood because I'm the one that killed the baby. And so I'm going to be charged with double homicide. But if that woman was on her way to an abortion clinic and then decided, I'm going to kill my baby that day, that baby has no personhood. And she can kill her baby. And it's totally fine. And it's not considered murder. And that's insane. And that is incredibly inconsistent. And so that's going to have to come to a head in the pro-life movement. And that kind of comes to the idea of victimhood. You know, are women victims? The woman that uses abortion as birth control, is she a victim? Or is she making a conscious decision to have an abortion? And I do think that this is where we kind of get into a generational divide, because there are a lot of women that had abortions in the 70s and 80s and, you know, even the 90s, and they really didn't know what they were doing. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have, you know, social media. We didn't have ultrasound images available to us. Women really didn't know what they were doing. And they really were, I think most of them at that time really were victims. They were, you know, victims to, you know, just doctors. Doctors weren't telling them, like, we're actually performing an abortion. They called it a menstrual extraction. They said all of these things. Women didn't have ultrasounds available. Like, you know, it was just kind of this ignorance. It's not that way anymore. Women, every woman that has an abortion knows she's pregnant with a baby. They all call their babies babies. The majority of women that have abortions have already had an ultrasound of their child that they abort. They are celebrating the fact that they're aborting their babies. They're having abortion parties after they abort their babies. They're taking videos of their abortion and posting it on TikTok. These are not victims of abortion. We go out to abortion clinics and, you know, we say to them, like, please don't do this to your baby. And they're flipping us off and saying, I can't wait to murder this kid. These are not victims of abortion. And we are saying two different things in the pro-life movement. We're saying, you know, women are so strong and they can do whatever they want and they can overcome any challenge that comes in front of them, but they're also really stupid idiots that can't figure out whether they're pregnant with a baby or not, and they're all victims. So it's kind of one or the other. Either they're strong and they're independent and they can figure things out on their own and they can overcome challenges, or they're dumb idiots that can't figure out how to open their phone and figure out if they're pregnant with a baby or not. But it's not both. It's kind of one or the other. And I believe women are strong and incredible. And I was not a victim. I've had 2 abortions. I was not a victim. I was just selfish. And the majority of women having abortions today are selfish. They're doing it for personal gain.
Aloha everyone, this is Jason Jones for LifeSite News. We hope you enjoyed this video. For more content like this, check the link in the description. You can also connect with us on social media to stay up to date with the latest news on life, faith, family, and freedom. Thanks for watching, and may God bless you.